Well, looking back at it, I realized I didn't really have a personal understanding of Jesus. Like, I knew who he was, but I didn't know him personally. Both my mom and dad, they were really strong in their faith. They both attended church, but with their divorce, I started attending church with my mom because I wanted to make my mom happy. And in the process of attending, I was experiencing a lot of church hurt. I was witnessing a lot of people making rumors about me and my sister. It felt like if anything I did wrong, it was immediately going to turn back on me. It felt like no matter what I did, if I wasn't being perfect, I'm going to hell. That the love wasn't meant for me, that I wasn't worth it. Kind of the point that I broke away from both the church and from my mom, because I wasn't getting that satisfaction of knowing that I'm doing something right, that I'm accepted, that I'm okay, that I'm loved. Once I started high school, I was really struggling with my identity. I was struggling with fitting in. It was harder for me to do things that it felt like it was simple and easy for everybody else. I struggled with seeing the value in my life, and I questioned why I was even here. I didn't see the point of even being here anymore. And when we did seek the help of doctors, that's when I got my first diagnosis of anxiety and depression. From there, I stuck with those labels, and I didn't know how to grow from them or move from them, and I let them become me. After I graduated, I was still running into the same type of emotions and negative feelings that I was experiencing in high school, and if anything, it felt like it intensified. I would go into these modes where I have no time to do anything else but stay in my brain. My thoughts are moving 1,000 miles per minute, and within the same quickness, I can't even imagine getting up. I'm stuck in my bed and I don't want to move. And at that point, I finally spoke with my doctors, and they let me know that I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And I was allowing this new diagnosis to become my new identity. During that time, I completely divulged myself into modeling. That was the thing I turned to make myself feel better. And even though that was a form of safety, it only lasted for a second. The moment that I was away from it, the emptiness was like 10 times worse than it ever was before. The final breaking moment for me was when my fiance's father had passed away. The only answer to everything going on was God. And I didn't have that relationship with him to be able to turn to it, so I knew I had to find it. We luckily found Church of Viera. We started attending sporadically here and there, but then eventually it did become a regular part of our schedule. Sundays, I would wait for those days to come just so I could make it back. Finally, the Christmas Eve service that was held at Church of Viera, I had heard about the story of Jesus all my life the same way everyone else does. God sent his only son to die for our sins. But in that moment, it finally became clear. It's not just a story, it's not just a message, it's truth. It was like the final moment of me being able to meet Jesus and hear him for myself. It was this unbelievable feeling of someone loves me so much that they'd be willing to give their all, their everything for me. And there's nothing I had to do but just believe, and that meant a lot. Moving forward from there, it was just the blossom and peace that I started to gain just from accepting him, just from saying yes. I no longer had that fear of what is the future going to bring me. If anything, my heart opened up to the future being endless, the possibilities being open. My relationships were strengthening. I was getting closer to my future husband. I was finding my place and purpose in the world. I could have these things that I lived through and still be a child of God. Bipolar disorder didn't have to be my identity. Anxiety and depression didn't have to be who I was. It just had to be something that I learned to go through. Being able to walk into Church of Viera and be able to work alongside other youth leaders and serve and be able to be there for the very girls who could be in the same position that I was in at one point. I feel like it brings this joy to my heart of knowing that there is value in myself, and not only that, but there's a reason why I was placed here.